Hello dear viewers, welcome to TV Mathshub. This is your study pattern for competitive exams. Here you will find different questions, clear solutions, and the guidance you need to succeed. Subscribing is completely free. It is just your way of appreciating our work and supporting the channel. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let's learn together. Hello dear viewers, welcome back to TV Mathshub. We are continuing with the 2025 UCE Mathematics paper. This is the UNEB paper that has been recently done by the senior 4 candidates this year. We have so far already handled item 1 and item 2. So in case you missed these videos, please check our previous videos or else check in the comment section and description for this same video, and you will get the links to these two previous items, that is item 1 and item 2. Please don't forget to subscribe to TV Mathshub. Subscribing is completely free. It is just your simple way of supporting this channel and helping other learners get clear explanations in mathematics. In this session, we shall be looking at section B. This section has two parts, part 1 and part 2. And in each of the parts, you are supposed to respond to only one item. And for our case, we shall, in this video, be handling item number 3. Before we come to item number 3, it is important to remember that section B, that is specifically in part 1, where we are supposed to choose one item, it is basically about data and probability. That is where we expect to have our items 3 and 4. So in the item 3 and item 4, you expect to have topics such as data collection, statistics, graphs, set theory, matrices, and probability. So these are the topics that you will be expecting in item 3 and item number 4. So let us look at item number 3. And we shall begin with looking at the given information. We are told that Elisheba employs 2 workers, that is Moses and Sarah, to sell soft drinks in a car park while she attends to the wholesale shop. Moses has been given 12 bottles of soda, 15 bottles of juice, and 20 bottles of water for sale. Sarah has been given 12 bottles of juice, 18 bottles of soda, 15 bottles of water for sale. The price of each bottle of soda, juice, and water is shillings 1,000, 2,000, and 500 shillings respectively. Elisheba needs help to arrange the information about the drinks as well as their respective prices in rows and columns, so that she can easily determine how much money to expect from each worker. Now, from what we are having so far, you look at what we have so far gone through, and you realize that Elisheba needs help in arranging this given information, meaning this is what we expect in our task. That is basically what we shall be tasked to do. But let us also look at the given information again. Elisheba will be going for shopping tomorrow and has therefore decided to toss 2 similar coins at once as a fair way of selecting one of the workers to attend to the shop, while the other one goes to the park. The workers have agreed that if at least one head appears on top, then Moses will attend to the shop. And if no head appears on top, then Sarah will attend to the shop. Elisheba needs help to determine the worker with the highest chance of being selected to attend to the shop. So what is the task? The task is to help Elisheba to organize the information in rows and columns, clearly stating the order of the information you have organized for the drinks and that for the prices respectively. And B, we need to calculate the amount she should expect from each of the workers. And lastly, we need to determine the probability with which the worker with the highest chance will be selected, and hence name the worker to attend to the shop. So this is basically about item 3. So to look at part A is about organizing the information in rows and columns and calculating the amount. When you look at this, then the required paragraph will be from here up to this given point. So we need to first of all have this information split into different parts, because you realize here you are talking about workers, and the task you need is to arrange the information in rows and columns. So basically you are talking about matrices. So when you see the word rows and columns, then you should be thinking about matrices. And what are some of the properties of matrices? So that will help you now to know how best you can arrange the information. So we need to look at the solution. And as I said, we shall begin with this paragraph where we have Elisheba employs two workers, Moses and Sarah, to sell soft drinks. Then you are having the information about Moses, you have information about Sarah, and you have the prices of soda, juice, and water. So let us look at how best we can come up with the response to this given item. And basically, we shall be looking at part A and B using this first information of Elisheba, and that is about Moses and Sarah having been given different types of soft drinks. So let us look at the solution. So basically in step 1, we need to organize the information in rows and in columns. And to organize this, then you need, of course, to be thinking about matrices. So this question basically tests how well you can represent data using matrices and how to multiply matrices to solve a real life situation. So basically we shall first of all decide the order. That is very important. So we shall have the drinks. Remember, we have the drinks and we have the workers. So let us have this information as 1, we have the worker. Let us have that. We have the worker. We have the drinks. We have soda. We have juice. And we have water. So that is the information that we surely have. So the workers, we have Moses. The workers, we have Moses. Then we also have Sarah. We have Moses and Sarah. So those are the workers that we are having. So this is the worker. We have soda. Moses has got soda. We have juice. We have water. So we need to go back and check. So we are told that Moses was given 12 bottles of soda, 15 bottles of juice, 20 bottles of water. So 12 bottles of soda. We shall have 12 bottles of soda here. Then we are told 15 bottles of juice. We are told 20 bottles of water. So here we have 20 bottles of water. Then about Sarah, we are told that Sarah has been given 12 bottles of juice. 12 bottles of juice. So where do we have juice? Juice is here. So these are 12 bottles of juice. You have to be careful there, because here they did start with a soda. They started with juice. So we have 12 bottles of juice. That is what we are having. 18 bottles of soda. So where do we have soda? Soda is here, 18 bottles. Then lastly, we are told 15 bottles of water. So next we go to water. Water, she has 15 bottles. So that is basically what we are given. So about the quantity, let us look at the quantity matrix. So the quantity matrix will be, so the quantity matrix will be, or is 1. I want us to have this one as Q. Q to represent the quantity matrix. So this one will be, simply take it the way it is. So we shall have 12, we shall have 15, we shall have 20. And in matrices, avoid using commas. So this is 18, this is 12, and this is 15. So that is what we are having. This represents soda, this represents soda, this represents juice, this represents water. This in rows, so this is the column form. So column, we have 12 for soda, this is 18. They should be matching. Soda, we have 12 and 18. Should be matching. Juice, 15, 12. Water, 20 and 15. Then next, the names. This is Moses and this is Sarah. Meaning that the rows here are representing the items for Moses. And this row here is representing the items for Sarah. So this will be the quantity matrix. So next we need to talk about the price matrix. The price matrix. The price matrix. Now, when we look at the information given, we are told that the price of each bottle of soda, juice, and water is 1,000, 2,000, and 500. So let us also have that. So let us have also soda, juice, and water. So we are told that the price of soda is 1,000, juice 2,000, and this is 500. So we are having 1,000, this is 2,000, and this is 500. Now, to look at the price matrix, you need to make sure that the price of soda corresponds to the quantity here. So this is 12, and this is 1,000. So this must be corresponding to the, such that when you are to multiply, you have the soda, the unit price of a soda, corresponding to the quantity of the soda. So to have the price matrix, this price matrix here will be in column form, will be a column vector. So will be in a column form or a column matrix. So we shall not write this one as 1,000, then 2,000, then 500. When you do it like this, the two will not be corresponding. So what we need to do is we shall write this one in the column form. So since these items here are the item, this is for soda, this is for juice, this is for water. So they should also be matching in the column form. So meaning the price matrix will be in the form of P, which is equal to, now put this one in the column form. So the column form, this is 1,000, this is 2,000, and lastly we have 500. This is in column form such that this corresponds to the first one, this corresponds to the second one, and this corresponds to the third one. Because this is the price for soda, this is the price for juice, this is the price for water. So if these are in row form, then the corresponding unit prices should be in the column form. So these are in row form, then here they should be in column form if you are to write the price matrix. So basically when you are looking at such matrices, you need to avoid some of the common mistakes. That is mixing the order of items. So when you have the order here in the this row form, then this side they should be in column form. So don't write this the soda, juice, water in row form, and this side again you leave it in row form. From there you will get something different, and it will be hard to multiply the two when especially you are determining the total amount. So when you are writing the price matrix, you need to be careful. You must make sure that they match the order of drinks. So if this is the order of the drinks you have, 12, then it must match. If this is in row, this one must be in column. They must match. This you must make sure corresponds to this. This corresponds to the next. This corresponds to the next. So from there, you have your two matrices, the quantity matrix and the unit price matrix. So next we need to look at calculating the total amount for each worker. So basically, let us go back. We need Elisheba needs help to arrange the information about the drinks as well as their respective prices in rows and columns so that she can easily determine how much money to expect from each worker. So we need to organize the information in rows and columns, clearly stating the order of the information you have organized for the drinks and that for the prices respectively. So we need to state the order. So what will be the order here? So here we need to state the order of this matrix. So let us state the order. How do you state the order of a matrix? So the order of a matrix is stated by using row by column. We state the order using this form. That is the number of rows and the number of columns. So that is basically what we need. So the order here is the order of the quantity matrix is, so how many rows do we have? We have one. This one is one row. This one here is another row. So there are two rows. So this is 2. We state order row by column. So this is 2 by columns. We have 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 columns. So this matrix here is of order 2 by 3. And then this matrix here is of order is of order. This is the cost, the price matrix or the cost matrix. So we shall be saying the order of the cost matrix is the order of the cost matrix. The order of the cost matrix is, so what is the order? How many rows do we have? 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 rows. And how many columns we have? We have only 1 column. So the order will be a 3 by 1 matrix. And the order here will be a 2 by 3 matrix. So that is basically what we shall have. That is answering part A. Then part B, we need to calculate the amount she should expect from each of the workers. How do we get that amount? So we need to calculate the amount we expect from each of the workers. So next, let us look at how best we can do that. So part B, we need to calculate the amount. So part B, we are basically looking at calculating the total amount, for each worker. That is what will be expected from each of the workers, That is basically what we need. And to do that, we need to multiply. So we shall need to multiply the 2 matrices. So we shall need to multiply the matrix Q with matrix P to get what we call the total. So we need to multiply these 2 matrices to get the total. This, the quantity matrix, and the cost matrix. So to get the total, we need to multiply these 2. So we are saying that to get the total T, we are multiplying Q with P. Okay, and from here, you need to write clearly and explain the number of columns in Q. To multiply these 2, you have Q with P. But if you look at the order, this was a 2 by 3 matrix, and this is a 3 by 1 matrix. That is the order, 2 by 3 and 3 by 1. Now, to multiply 2 matrices, you must ensure that the number of columns here are the same as the number of rows here. So the number of columns in this matrix should be the same as the number of rows in this matrix. If that is possible, if you find the 2 are the same, then it means the 2 matrices can be multiplied together. And what do you expect? You expect to have a 2 by 1 matrix. So that is basically what we need to expect. So how do we multiply that? Let us multiply the 2 matrices. This is containing 12, 15, 20, 18, 12, and 15. So we shall put that matrix. This is having 12. This is having 12, 15, and 20. This is having 18, 12, and 15. We are multiplying this together with a matrix, that is the cost matrix, and that is 1,000, 2,000, and 500. So we have 1,000, 2,000, and 500. So we shall multiply these. And how do we multiply in matrices? You multiply row by column. So multiply row by column. You have 12 times 1,000. Add there 15. Multiply this with this with that. 15 times 2,000, row by column, this row in this column. 12 corresponds with this. 15 corresponds with that. 20 corresponds with that. So plus 20 times 500. So next we shall have a row. This is another one. This is done. So next we have this row with this column. That is 18 times 1,000 plus 12 times 2,000 plus 15 times 500. So 18 times this, 12 times that, 15 times this. And this should be able to give us the total. So you get this plus that, and you should be able to get your total as 52,000. And here you should be able to get, that is 49,500. So this is the total that you will get. Now from this total, you recall that this one here was representing Moses, and this one here was representing Sarah. So this is for Moses. This row here represents Moses, the first row. The second row represents Sarah. So we shall have, from here we can have that this one here will be the cost. That is the amount that is expected from Moses. This is the amount that is expected from Sarah. So from there, we can now look at the question. Remember, the question wants us to calculate the amount she should expect from each of the workers. So what is the amount that is expected from each of the workers? Now from here, we shall now give the conclusion that she should expect, therefore, she should expect shillings 52,000 from Moses and shillings 49,500 from Sarah. That is basically the amount Elisheba should expect from each of his workers. And part B will also be answered. So far, part A is done, part B is also done. And I hope it is so far so well for each one of us. Next, let us again move on. We are also told that Elisheba will be going for shopping tomorrow and has therefore decided to toss two similar coins at once as a fair way of selecting one of the workers to attend to the shop, while the other one goes to the park. The workers have agreed that if at least one head appears on top, then Moses will attend to the shop, and if no head appears on top, then Sarah will attend to the shop. Elisheba needs help to determine the worker with the highest chance of being selected to attend to the shop. Now, this is about probability. So you are looking at tossing a coin, and this is a fair way of selecting one of the workers. So basically you are dealing with probability of choosing one worker over the other. So that is basically about the knowledge of probability. So you should be now thinking about how now to deal with probabilities and how to deal with tossing of a coin. If a coin is tossed and they are saying that he is tossing two similar coins at once, then you should be able now to easily identify what next you need to do. So basically, what is the task? The task is to determine the probability with which the worker with the highest chance will be selected, and hence name the worker to attend to the shop. So let us look at this response to this item. And we shall again begin from here. So is tossing two similar coins. So basically, we need to look at a table that will be showing the probability space of tossing two coins. That is basically what we need to think about. So if two fair coins are tossed at once, so we are looking at part B. So we are saying now we are tossing two coins. So two fair coins are tossed at once. Two fair coins are tossed at once. So if two fair coins are tossed at once, then we need to get the sample space. We need to get the sample space. And to obtain the sample space, we shall consider this table here, which is showing the two coins. So let us consider, we need to get the sample space, but before that, we shall consider a table. Let us consider a table which is showing, the probability, the probability space of tossing two coins. So basically, when we consider such a table, we shall have two coins. So we shall have two coins here. So let us have one coin here, that is coin 1. And let us have coin 2 here. So here we shall have coin 2. So each of these coins, as we know, each of these coins here have got either a head or a tail. Each of the coins have got either a head or a tail. So it means coin 1 will be having a head, and will be having a tail. Coin 2, this coin here, will also be having, this coin 2 will also be having a head and a tail. So let us also have head and tail. This one here is for the coin 2. This is for coin 2. So we have coin 1 here, we have coin 2 here. So this coin 1 has got head and tail. This coin 2 has also got head and tail. So the next thing to do is, if two fair coins are tossed at once, what do we expect? One, there is a possibility that this coin will show a head and this one will also show a head. There is a possibility of this coin showing a head, coin 1, and coin 2 also showing a head. There is a possibility that this coin 1 will show a tail, but when coin 2 has shown a head. There is a possibility of this coin here showing a head, and yet this coin is showing a tail. There is a possibility of this coin here showing a tail when this coin here is also showing a tail. So that is basically what we shall have. So now, from what we have here, we need now to get what we call the sample space. So therefore, what will be the sample space? So the sample space will be, the sample space S will be same as having head and head, having tail and head, having head and tail, having tail and tail. So that is basically what we shall have when we toss two fair coins. So this would be the sample space. So now from here, from what we already have now, we need basically to look at this given question or this item. We are told to determine the probability with which the worker with the highest chance will be selected, hence name the worker. But again, we are told the workers have agreed that if at least one head appears on top, then Moses will attend to the shop. Moses will attend to the shop. So it means, first of all, we need to look at the rule that is given. We are given these two rules. We are having these two rules. So the given rules are, the rule given says, 1, if at least, this is the rule that we are following, if at least one head appears, then Moses attends to the shop. Moses attends to the shop. 2, if no head appears, then Sarah attends to the shop. That is basically what we are given. Now, this is what we have. The workers have agreed that if at least one head appears, then Moses will attend. If no head appears, then Sarah will attend to the shop. So we need to determine the worker with the highest chance of being selected to attend to the shop, which means next we need to basically look at what is the probability that at least one head appears. Then what is the probability that no head will appear? So we need to look at those two cases. So let us first of all see what will be the probability that at least one head appears. Okay, so let us look at that. Basically, before we come to that, we can easily see that the number of items in our sample space is actually 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4. That is the number of events in what? In S. That is 4. So we shall need that. So let us look at the probability that at least one head appears. So we are looking at the probability that at least one head appears. So before we look at that, let the event. We shall first let the event of at least one head appearing, on top be, for example, A. At least one head appearing on top be at least be A. So what will be the items or events in A? So what will be in A? Where do we have the head? We have the head appearing here. At least one, it means that is 1 and above. So here we have 2 heads, so that one can be there. Here we have 1 head, this one can also be there. We have 1 head, that one can also be there. So it means S will be consisting of elements, HH, then we have HH, we have TH, and we have H and T. So that is basically what will be the elements of A. So the elements of A, we have this, and that. So what will be the number of elements of A? So this implies that the number of elements of A will be equal to what? Will be equal to 3. So what will be the probability of getting at least one head appearing on top? So what will be the probability of at least one head appearing? So this probability will be same as the probability of A. Which is same as probability of A. We know by definition, probability of A is same as number of A divided by the number in the sample space. So what is the number in A is 3. What is the number in the sample space is 4. So probability of A is same as 3 divided by 4. Or else this is same as 75%. We need to see which one is greater than the other. So if you need to have it in percentage, you can easily do that. That is 3 over 4 times 100. So this will give you 75. So that is 75%. So probability of A is same as 3 over 4 or 75%. So that is basically the probability of the event of one head appearing on top. So next we need to talk about, remember we have 2 rules, at least one head appearing, and there we shall be basically talking about Moses attending to the shop. Then if no head appears, then Sarah will be attending to the shop. So next we need to look at the probability of no head appearing on top. So next let us talk about that, and we shall also let the event of no head appearing on top be, for example, capital B. So what will be the elements in this set here? Where do we have no head? In this sample space? In this sample space, we have no head at this given point where we have only tails. That is where we have no head, completely no head. So it means the element that will be in this will only be T and T. That is where we have no head. So let us look at the number. What is the number in B? The number in B will only be 1. So what will be the probability of B? That is the probability of no head appearing on top. So probability of B will also be number of B divided by the number in the sample space. That is 1. The number in the sample space is 4. So probability of B is same as a quarter. Or this can be same as 25%. In terms of percentages, a quarter is same as 25%. So from here, we need now to see which one is having a higher chance of attending to the shop. The person with a higher chance of attending to the shop, we shall look at the probabilities. You realize this is 75% and this one here is 25%. So which one is higher? Of course, Of course, this one is higher. So, and this one here corresponds to who? To which worker? Corresponds to Moses. Moses will attend to the shop if at least one head appears. And we have seen for the probability of one head appearing is 75%, which is higher than 25%. Now, from there, it means Moses is having a higher chance of attending to the shop. So from here, we shall write so from the probabilities that we have got, from probability of A and the probability of B, we can easily see that probability of A is greater than the probability of B. So which means that the worker that has the highest chance is the one who is corresponding to this probability. So we shall also say the probability with which the worker with the worker with the highest chance will be 3/4, or what we have seen as 75%, because it is clear 75% is greater than 25%. So for that case, it means the worker to attend let me give the conclusion here. Therefore, the worker to attend to the shop is Moses, because that is the reason he has the highest chance, of being selected. He has the highest chance of being selected, and we have seen that is about 75%, which is more than the 25% of the other, that is Sarah. So basically, that is what was required. That is what was required for item number 3, and those are some of the responses that were required to have all the marks, all the scores for this given item. So what basically students usually forget is that when they mention the word at least one head, it means you need to include both one head and 2 heads or above. So at least one, that is from 1 and above. So you need to be careful, especially when you are dealing with probabilities. So basically, that is how you were supposed to handle item 3 of the 2025 UCE Mathematics paper. That was basically what we have seen was basically a mix of matrices and probabilities. And from there, if you haven't yet gone through some of the other items, please consider checking our previous items as well, so that you can get to know what best was required for these items. So make sure you practice how to multiply matrices, especially those who are coming to senior 4, those who are still in senior 3, senior 2. This is the time to practice some of these things here. So make sure you practice how to multiply matrices, because many candidates lose scores on arrangement and not basically on calculation. Arrangement matters a lot because it will help you in knowing exactly how and when and what you need to multiply with the other. So please go through some of these items, item 1, item 2, and item 3. Check those videos on our channel. They will help you to see how UNEB sets questions in a connected way. Don't forget to subscribe to TV Mathshub. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to share it with your classmates. Subscribing costs nothing, but it helps us to keep bringing you these clear and practical lessons. See you in the next video, and that will be about item number 4. Thank you for watching. God bless you all.